Okay, so I am at Greg's shop here, Defensive Arts Center in Beaverton, and Greg is going to go over the potential issue with the arm brace for the AR-15 platform. This is obviously something that people have been talking about. I have tried to explain it, but Greg just broke this down as to the three possibilities of what can happen. So if people are wondering what the potential executive action or executive orders could bring, Greg's going to explain. So just kind of explain what the arm brace is to people that have no idea when we're talking
All
about
right.
this stuff.
So this really is going to be the overly simplified. Again, like all things guns, people can pick it apart a million different ways. Some of this is conjecture. Some of this is just I am an FFL. I do deal mostly in pistols, but I can sell just about anything. So I'm immersed in this. I have really good contacts with the ATF. So what we know today for what is an arm brace, and although this can come in many different flavors, we're going to break it down into the most common, which is of course going to be the AR platform. So in an AR-15, there are rules out there that say what is a rifle and what is a pistol. What is a rifle is a firearm that does not have a smooth bore, that was designed to be discharged from the shoulder support. Those firearms, according to the ATF, have to have a minimum barrel length of 16 inches. Okay. So that is designed to be shot from the shoulder. Something that is not designed to be shot from the shoulder and does not have a smooth bore is designated as a pistol.
Okay.
Right. Excuse me. Handguns and long guns are also interchangeable there. So so what people did, the original arm brace, my understanding is it was built by Sig Sauer for a veteran who was physically disabled and could not hold a rifle.
Okay.
So they took a standard AR rifle with a 16-inch barrel-ish, and they took the stock off. Now, an AR has a tube that sits out the back, and there's a big spring in that tube, and that's your recoil spring, right? So it has to stay there. So they integrated that into this thing that had two pieces of rubber and some Velcro, right? And the idea behind that, it would clamp over this gentleman's arm, and they could Velcro it in place. So we had some way to manage and maintain that. Well, immediately now, all of a sudden, this device is no longer designed to be shot from the shoulder, so it qualifies under as a pistol.
Okay.
And as such, barrel length now all of a sudden can be anything you want it to be, right? You can do a short barreled because it's not ever a short barreled rifle. The controversy comes about because of the design of these, right? If you look at them, this is now heavy rubber, right? And honestly, there's probably no fooling anybody that you could not feasibly, tuck that into your shoulder and shoot it as such. Now, where it gets really weird is that it has to do with the intention of the design. So if you are shooting this is current, this is subject to debate and change without notice, but currently, if you are shooting an AR pistol from the shoulder as a rifle, you are not breaking any laws, because it was not manufactured to be shot that way. You're shooting it in a way it wasn't designed for. So that doesn't break any laws. Now, here's the concern. They want this to stop. I don't know why they want this to stop. First of all, the minute you take an AR rifle and turn it into a pistol, you have dramatically reduced its accuracy. However, they want to ban those. And so how are they going to do that? Well, here in Portland, there are no registries. There is absolutely no place that anybody can go and look and say, show me every person in Oregon who's purchased any type of firearm.
Now that they've heard this, they're going to be like, oh, this sounds like a great bill to introduce.
No, it's been going on for a long time. The federal government does not keep that list unless you buy multiple firearms, multiple handguns simultaneously within a 10-day period. Then they're recorded. And there's just a few other things, right? And that's going to come up again here. So let's just assume for a second that they want to ban this brace. How are they going to do that? If they can't collect it, they're going to try to convince you to give it up. And they're going to do that by saying that in X amount of time, this is no longer going to be illegal. However, they're going to say it will be, in order for you to keep it, it's going to be an NFA item. You hear that a lot. NFA means National Firearm Act. As an NFA, that's where the suppressors, what else we got? We got machine guns, right? You've got suppressors. You've got, and what I think we're probably going to see eventually is high cap magazines, braces, bump stocks, right? If that ever turns over, etc. I want to pause that.
Cool.
All right, where were we before we got interrupted? So anyway, there's going to be a plethora of items here. I'm pretty sure we're going to see this. Now, in order for us to keep these things, it's going to cost us money. There's a lot of money to be had here. There's a lot of money needed to recover, financially. So what this means is the first thing you have to do is you have to set up a trust fund. And this is so that these items that are on here, including full machine guns and silencers and all that other stuff, suppressors or silencers, are assigned to this. Now, this is one way that you can still share guns legally with your friends, right? You can go ahead and set up a trust fund and get 5 people set up in that trust. And the guns belong to the trust, and people there you can each use it, and you're fine, right? This is the thought process, I think, is to prevent it from being out on the street. Once you have the trust set up, then each item individually has to be listed in that trust. And to do that, there is a $200 tax stamp. So your brace will cost you $200. Every one of your magazines that has more than 10 capacities could potentially cost you. I don't think that's actually going to happen. There is some conversation in government circles about what it really is a high capacity magazine, and they're leaning towards over 30. However, this is why, you want to be aware. You want to know what's going on and understand what it is, right? Bump stocks, braces, etc. All those things could potentially fall under this. And by that rule, they're not infringing upon your rights because you can still have them. You just have to pay the government to keep them.
Would that be yearly?
No, the trust is a one-time. I think it's a one-time purchase per item.
Well, so, all right. So you would just have to say, like, I only have one 30-round magazine.
Whoa. You're putting me on camera.
No, I'm just...
You can obviously tell them for every single one that you have.
Yeah, for every single one that you have, you would have to say that you have that.
When you get 2 seconds.
Okay.
All right, we have someone. Yeah. So the thought process is that you would have to pay the tax for each magazine that you own. You would also have to pay the tax for the brace itself. And anything else that you would be on the hook for?
Well, anything in this list, or as the rules start to go forward, what could they add to that, right?
I'm sorry I put you on camera with that question.
That's all right. I think it's hilarious. What are they going to slip in? I don't know. Right. I don't know. Anything could happen. My biggest concern right now is, as we've already said in many of our videos, it takes, on average of 4 rounds to stop a determined aggressor. There's, if you have a 30% miss rate, and in 54% of the cases, you have, in fact, 2 aggressors. So, to walk around with 12 or 13 rounds is not high capacity. That's self-defense, right? So if they start, bringing that down to those levels, then they are giving us, of course, way less potential to defend ourselves than the bad guys are carrying. And that's one of the reasons that they haven't actually changed that law.
Aside from the tax stamp option, what is the buyback?
Oh, yeah, thanks. That's one of the other things, because they only give you options, right? So you don't have to pay for the tax stamp. They can't legally, I suppose they could try. I don't know. They don't really have a way to enforce this. Again, this is Oregon. Know your state if you're not in Oregon. In Oregon, there is absolutely no place. When you buy a firearm, there is no state registry that says who owns what firearms. The only person who knows that a particular gun belongs to you is the FFL you picked it up from. I have to keep those records for 21 years. And this is so that they can trace. If they find a gun in the bottom of a river somewhere, they can trace that gun back to who owned it, right? They cannot, however, there's no place for them to go, show me everybody who bought an AR pistol or an AR or even any pistol for that matter. They can't get a list of people in Oregon. Not so true in our neighboring state to the north. So a buyback program is where they basically offer you a pittance. They say, in order so we don't have to charge you this, and we don't have to enforce that, we're going to offer you $100 for your brace. So we're going to offer you $50 or $20 for every magazine that you bring in, hoping that you will drive your boxes of things down to the government and cash them in for spendable money.
And then is there an all-out illegal ban that could happen on something like this? Is that the nuclear option?
The word "could" is always, anything can happen. The way our government is designed, I would think that'd be very rare. Precedents, because most things in our law system require precedents, and precedents has been set for an AR ban. No new manufacturing, no imports, etc. That ended in, 86? Now I'm showing
90
Was it 94?
90 something.
I'm showing my
Yeah.
ignorance now. Yeah, whenever that ended, right? But up to that point, if you already owned one, they were called pre-ban.
Okay.
And so I have a feeling that's probably where we're going to see this. This is going to be enforced more at the manufacturing perspective than it is at the end user. This is probably a go-forward bill or go-forward laws that, again, like everything else, the next regime is liable to shift and change. So it's a turmoil to be sure.
Okay. Thank you for that breakdown. I appreciate it.
All right.